This is the class that brings you the announcements. We also made creative videos about places, color, dialogue scenes, broadcast packages, and creative movies.
Old man, look at my life. I'm a lot like you were. Old man, look at my life. I'm a lot like you were. Old man, look at my life. 24 and there's so much more. Live alone in a paradise that makes me think of two. Love lost, such a cost. Give me things that don't get lost, like a coin that won't get tossed, rolling home to you. Lullabies, look in your eyes. Run around the same old town. Doesn't mean that much to me, to mean that much to you. I've been first and last. Look at how the time goes past. But I'm all alone at last, rolling home to you.
As an American, wouldn't you want to have easy access to healthcare if you're in need? Over the past few years, there has been discourse over whether or not to continue government funding for Planned Parenthood. According to the Washington Post, this argument has led to many big decisions, including the removal of Planned Parenthood from Title X, a program that pays for family planning services for low-income Americans. When you hear the name Planned Parenthood, what do you think of? Contrary to popular belief, Planned Parenthood provides many other services other than performing abortions. In fact, Planned Parenthood provides services for all kinds of people. Women, men, and everyone in between utilize Planned Parenthood's resources. Planned Parenthood's health centers provide millions of people in the U.S. with contraception, testing, and treatment for sexually transmitted infections, life-saving cancer screenings, and safe, legal abortion. Planned Parenthood even acts as a pickup location and distribution center for hormones, for hormone replacement therapy for transgender people going through a medical transition. As a young woman with an uncertain future ahead of me, I would like to have the opportunity to get checkups, prescriptions, and care from a leading provider of high-quality, affordable healthcare. We have a president who is trying to use every ounce of power he has to defund Planned Parenthood for the sole reason of reducing access to abortions. He is not recognizing that millions of Americans utilize Planned Parenthood services for basic health needs. Please consider this injustice when deciding who to vote in as the next president of the United States in November.
We should go down there.
Well, parking lots to state beaches up and down the coast, starting in Southern California and stretching all the way to Sonoma County, will be closed.
Yo, Ryan, beach just opened up. The Montaro's firing right now. We out, yeah?
Say less, I'm there.
Together and tell me, boy, now wouldn't that be sweet? If I could be sweet, I know I've been a real bad girl. I didn't mean for you to get hurt. We can make it better and tell me, boy, now wouldn't that be sweet?
I'm Jake Anderson. I've been surfing for 2 years.
My name is Jake Escobar, and I've been surfing for about 3 years now.
The thing that made me want to get into surfing is mostly that my friends started doing it, and also seeing other people surf just made me want to surf.
I think the main draws for me wanting to get into surfing are my friends kind of started doing it, and I was watching a lot of surfing on the internet, and I was just really drawn to it. I really wanted to like get barreled, really. I was just like, damn, that's sick.
Well, as soon as the pandemic hit, I wasn't able to surf for a while, but as soon as the beaches opened, I was able to go out in the water and safely social distance with my friends and get a workout in, and also catch some waves. It's kind of been a getaway from everything like back at home. When the beaches started opening up, surfing was the first thing I did. It just made me feel, I don't know, it was something fun I could do.
COVID's actually played a massive part in my COVID experience because I surf all the time, and it's kind of like, not only is it a great way to burn some calories and stay in shape, but it's also a ton of fun. I get to like meet up with my friends and keep a good social distance in the water. It's just a great way to exercise, hang out with your friends, and obey all the rules. It's like, damn, that's sick.
Dropping into a big bomb and just getting absolutely either destroyed or sticking the landing and just opening up a face. Don't ditch your board.
Proof of a new day. The sun peeks over the bay. Wishing it would stay. Play during the day. All are awake and busy.
But you be it, someday might be. And she woke up in a cold
Sun high in the sky.
next to a family portrait drawn when you were 4. And beside a jar of two
The sun is tired. Needs its rest for tomorrow. Emerging once more.
You understand? I don't hate her. I hate what she's become. I hate the illness.
Wouldn't it be better if you put her someplace?
You mean an institution? A madhouse? People always call a madhouse someplace, don't they? Put her in someplace.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean it to sound uncaring.
What do you know about caring? Have you ever seen the inside of one of those places? The laughing and the tears and the cruel eyes studying you? My mother there? But she's harmless. She's as harmless as one of those stuffed birds.
I'm sorry. I only felt it seems she's hurting you. I meant well.
People always mean well. They cluck their thick tongues and shake their heads and suggest oh so very delicately. Of course, I've suggested it myself, but I hate to even think about it. She needs me. It's not as if she were a maniac, a raving thing. She just goes a little mad sometimes. We all go a little mad sometimes. Haven't you?
Gang hit, screwed up drug score, unlucky John, or an unhappy love affair? Huh? Don't tell me this stuff's getting to you. Not Harry Callahan. Say it ain't so.
No, this doesn't get to me. The beatings, the killings, the knifings. Old ladies getting bashed over the head for Social Security checks. Teachers getting thrown out of fourth-story windows for not giving out A's. That doesn't get to me. No, that doesn't bother me a bit.
Come on, Harry. Take it easy.
Nor does this job, wading through the scum of the city, being swept away by bigger and bigger waves of corruption, apathy, and red tape. No, that doesn't bother me. Do you know what does bother me, though?
What?
You know what really makes me sick to my stomach?
What?
Is watching you stuff your face with those hot dogs. Nobody, I mean nobody, puts ketchup on a hot dog.
What the hell are you talking about?
I'm talking about putting fingers in holes and the whole damn dike's crumbling around us.
This is a poem written to my daughter the day after she was born. The title, Now That I Am Forever with Child. How the days went while you were blooming within me, I remember each upon each, the swelling, changed planes of my body, and how you first fluttered, then jumped, and I thought it was my heart. How the days wound down in the turning of winter, I recall, with you, growing heavy against the wind. I thought, now her hands are formed, now her hair has started to curl, now her teeth are done, now she sneezes. Then the seed opened. I bore you one morning, just before spring. My head rang like a fiery piston. My legs were towers between which a new world was passing. Since then, I can only distinguish one thread within running hours. You, flowing through cells toward you.
Audre Lorde, in full Audre Geraldine Lorde, also called Gamba Adisa or Ray Domini, was an American writer, feminist, womanist, librarian, and civil rights activist. She was born February 18, 1934 in New York and died November 17, 1992. She used her voice for freedom of Black Americans, women, and people with disabilities. She married in 1962 and wrote poetry while working as a librarian at Town School in New York. She also taught English at Hunter College. Her book, Cables to Rage, explored her anger at social and personal injustice and contained the first poetic expression of her lesbianism. The poet's 14-year-old battle with cancer is examined in the Cancer Journals, in which she recorded her early battle with the disease and gave a feminist critique of the medical profession. Her last volume of poetry is The Marvelous Arithmetics of Distance. It was published in 1993. Audre Lorde was loved by many for the words she wrote and simply her personality. We shall continue to keep her story alive as the years go on.
17 seconds. 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open. Chicago with the lead.
3 seconds left. Cleveland triggers in. James, 2 seconds. 1 second for the win. LeBron James delivers.
23. Possibly one of the most respected numbers in basketball history. The reason 23 is so significant in the NBA and even all around the world is because of Michael Jordan, a player who made his mark in the NBA in the 90s and early 2000s. He's arguably the best player ever, and the only person who is keeping MJ from claiming his title is LeBron James. Regardless of his receding hairline, he's a phenomenal player who is considered to be the best player in the NBA at this moment. If you don't know who these players are, here is, here's their resume. Michael Jordan has an abundance of career achievements, some of which include averaging 30 points per game for his entire career, 5 MVP awards, 6 NBA championships, 6 finals MVPs, and was a 10-time scoring leader, as well as 10-time NBA first-team player, and believe it or not, the list goes on and on and on. As for LeBron James, he averaged 27 points per game, was a 4-time NBA champion, was a 4-time NBA Finals MVP, 13-time All-NBA First Team, 5-time NBA All-Defensive First Team, and just recently LeBron was named the Athlete of the Year for his remarkable achievements in this past season, and well, the list goes on. If that didn't display their greatness well enough, well, here's some visual evidence to help you.
LeBron James, a great player. Michael Jordan, the great Michael Jordan.
First of all, this is an incredibly difficult question, which is, of course, I'm sure a part of why the question is being asked, as to who is the best player of all time, or in this case, the best player between LeBron James and Michael Jordan.
LeBron James is the GOAT.
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan. It's just facts.
After getting responses from some of my friends, it became clear who the favorite was. Michael Jordan. This was somewhat surprising to me because they grew up in a generation without Michael Jordan, but with LeBron in the spotlight. This made me think of some of the contributing factors towards their bias of MJ. One could possibly be peer pressure, or rather persuasion through popularity of friends, family, and society. Another contributing factor to their bias, I imagined, could have been the new Michael Jordan documentary called The Last Dance. I know this opened my eyes to the success Michael Jordan had in his generation. My last possible reason for the bias towards Michael Jordan was that LeBron James hurt the heart of many Golden State Warrior fans, which may have left some bad blood between the two. Regardless of the favoritism, let's see the argument from both sides.
From my perspective, LeBron James is the better of the two players. You look at the players that both LeBron and Michael played alongside, I think you could make an argument that LeBron James carried teams that were far inferior to some of the Michael Jordan teams. Michael Jordan had an exceptional supporting cast. Athletically, very, very hard to compare the two. Two very different types of players. Jordan was so slick and so athletic. Whereas I would say LeBron, who has really worked on his physicality, he's obviously a very large player, a large specimen of a human. I think LeBron is a matchup nightmare for most people.
I agree, Stephen. LeBron is a large human specimen. Now, let's hear the argument from Michael Jordan.
I think that Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player to ever live. In 6 finals appearances, Michael Jordan has won 6 rings. But with LeBron, he has a negative win percentage when appearing in the finals. Also, I do think your skill level has something to do with your success in the finals. So, if you're only able to win 4 times, like LeBron, in many attempts, and Jordan was able to win 6 in 6 attempts, that just shows who is better. I also think that Jordan's work ethic is off the charts and uncomparable. Jordan is better than LeBron. That's it.
And with 3 seconds left, Cleveland triggers in. James, 2 seconds, 1 second for the win. LeBron James delivers. That's a winner in Cleveland.
Here comes Chicago. 17 seconds. 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open. Chicago with the lead. Timeout, Utah. 5.2 seconds left. Michael Jordan running on fumes with 45 points.
I will leave it up to you guys to determine who the best player of all time is. But I can say that there is so much greatness between these two players, and they have inspired millions of people in the game of basketball. I guess their greatness can teach us lessons in the real world. You miss every shot you don't take. And remember, kids, if you want to be as strong and as successful as Michael Jordan, eat your Wheaties!
Hey.
You're an idiot.
What?
You're an idiot. I've been sitting over there for 45 minutes waiting for you to come and talk to me. And now I'm tired and I have to go home, and I couldn't sit over there waiting for you for any longer.
I'm Will.
Skylar. And by the way, that guy over there, the Michael Jordan clone, isn't singing with us, so to speak.
Yeah, no, I kind of got that impression.
Alright, well, I've got to go. Got to get up early and waste some money on my overpriced education.
No, I didn't mean you.
Well, that's okay. Here's my number, so maybe we can go for coffee sometime.
Alright, or maybe we could just get together and eat a bunch of caramels.
What do you mean?
When you think about it, it's just as arbitrary as drinking coffee.
Yeah, okay. Alright then.
Bonnie's right now.
Hey, do you like apples?
Yeah.
What about her number? I like gum apples.
Hello.
Who are you?
I'm Peter Brand.
What do you do?
I'm special assistant to Mark Shapiro.
So, what do you do?
Mostly player analysis right now.
Been on the job long? First job in baseball?
It's my first job anywhere.
Wow, congrats.
Thank you.
First job. Whose nephew are you? Why does Mark listen to you?
I don't think he does very often.
He just did.
Well, in that circumstance, I think he was more listening to Bruce than myself.
Who are you?
I'm Peter Brand.
I don't give a rat's what your name is. What happened in there? What happened in that room?
I'm not quite sure what you're asking me, Mr. Bean.
What did you tell Bruce?
I just told Bruce that I like Garcia.
You like Garcia. Why? Why?
There is an epidemic failure within the game to understand what is really happening. And this leaves people who run Major League Baseball teams to misjudge their players and mismanage their teams. I apologize.
Go on.
Okay. People who run ball clubs, they think in terms of buying players. Your goal shouldn't be to buy players. Your goal should be to buy wins. And in order to buy wins, you need to buy runs. You're trying to replace Johnny Damon. The Boston Red Sox see Johnny Damon, and they see a star who's worth $7.5 million a year. When I see Johnny Damon, what I see is an imperfect understanding of where runs come from. The guy's got a great glove. He's a decent leadoff hitter. He can steal bases. But if he worked the $7.5 million a year that the Boston Red Sox pay him, no. Baseball thinking is medieval. They're asking all the wrong questions. And if I say it to anybody, I'm ostracized. I'm a leper, so that's why I'm caging about this with you. That's why I respect you, Mr. Bean. And if you want full disclosure, I think it's a good thing you got Damon off your payroll. I think it opens up all kinds of interesting possibilities.
Clemente, his legacy was he was a professional baseball player. He was ranked among one of the best of all time. And then he was obviously in baseball like parlance, and like he was a complete player too as well. And in addition, he to the most valuable players, he received 12 Gold Glove awards and like 4 national batting titles as well, and 12 All-Star game selections. And also he also has 2 rings, 2 World Series rings, and he reached the 3,000 hit milestone. And he's community work. Clemente. He always cared about children, and even though he had like such a busy schedule, he also made time to hold like baseball clinics for kids, especially for kids who like have low income with their families. And like his dream was like building a sports city like where Puerto Rican like youth people have already access to facilities and coaching, and like it was helping people. It was like a great facility for kids who didn't really have a lot of money. So when he passed away, obviously with the current crash, all the funds like that they raised for his death were all used to build like a pediatrics wing, like at the Messiah Hospital in Nicaragua, and that expansion of pediatrics department was built with those people, with those funds, with the collaboration of engineers over there, and they also transferred the fund, and a lot of people from Puerto Rico went to integration, and the hospitals decored it, and it had air conditioning, cooler TV, and very pretty pediatric. It was for children.
What is a fungus? A fungus is a microorganism such as yeast, mold, or the more familiar mushroom. Mushrooms are spore-bearing fruit bodies of a fungus, typically produced above ground in soil or on its food source.
The oldest multicellular organism in the fossil record today is this fungus in lava in South Africa 2.4 billion years ago. A fully formed mushroom who had its form was growing 1.4 billion years ago. We separated from fungi 650 million years ago. Mushrooms have had their form longer than we've had our form by more than 1 billion years.
Mushrooms and fungi come in many different shapes and sizes. One mushroom may be over a foot tall, another one may be under an inch tall. One fungus may be brightly colored and sticky, while the other is a dull brown.
This mushroom tastes like chicken. That's why it's called chicken of the woods, especially on the first 2 inches of the margin. Make sure they're well cooked. I love these on the barbecue, basted with a little teriyaki sauce, and they truly taste like white chicken.
There are countless uses for mushrooms and fungi, some being cooking and others in medicine.
Hi there, this may be the first smart mushroom. And the reason why I say it may be the first smart mushroom is recent research shows that this mushroom helps people fight cognitive dysfunction related to dementia. There's very interesting studies about the regeneration of myelin and the reduction of amyloid plaques.
With all these health and cooking properties, one may think that mushrooms are rare. But in fact, if you look around you, they're everywhere. Most mushrooms are very hardy and will pop up wherever they have the chance. Though it may be hard to find them in urban settings because a lot of people destroy them whenever they see them. And some are just too small to stumble upon. You have to be looking for them to see them. The reason why I like mushrooms is because they're so complex yet so simple. Beneath our feet is a massive web of bioorganisms and just stuff that we never see in our everyday lives. And to be able to see it pop up on the surface is just beautiful to me.
William Wells Brown was born around 1814 near Lexington, Kentucky. He was one of 7 children and born into slavery. He attempted to escape slavery in 1832 along with his mother, and after they were caught, the two never saw each other again. 2 years after his failed attempt, he managed to escape while in Cincinnati. In that process, he met a Quaker man named Wells Brown, and that's where he got his name from. He then went to Cleveland to work on a steamboat with the goal of helping other slaves escape into Canada. In Cleveland, he met Elizabeth, whom he later married. He then worked tirelessly to free other slaves. He then wrote a book on slavery, Narrative, which sold 10,000 copies in the first 2 years. While in Boston, he worked for the New England Anti-Slavery Society. For the remainder of his life, he was a lecturer and playwright. He later passed on November 6, 1884, from complications of a tumor on the bladder. William Wells Brown is a hero, and he needs to be recognized for his heroic actions.
Hey, you guys want to cook some meatballs? I'm going to cook some spaghetti and meatballs today. This is how we're going to do it. All right, first thing we're going to do, we're going to dice up the onions in the food processor, all right? Take a little bit of parsley. Put parsley here, put it on the tops. Don't worry about the stems. This will take care of it. Don't worry about it, all right? Put it on parsley on the top, okay? So we should be good to go. First, we're going to start out some ground beef, all right? Got a little ground beef. Like to use a little extra lean for that. You want it to taste good, right? Secret is a little bit of veal, huh? Veal. For the young cats, you know what I'm talking about? All right. And you take your chopped onions and your parsley. Put it in your bowl. Second step, you gotta put in your breadcrumbs, all right? Any breadcrumbs will do. Italian style, hey, why not? About a cup. That's about a cup. You don't need to measure it. Just figure it out. All right, now that you've created your fresh pecorino romano, don't forget that. None of this stuff off the counter, all right? You gotta grate it, do a little work. Put that in here, about a cup. Remember, you don't need to measure a cup. Just check it out, you'll be fine. All right, first thing you do, you're gonna season. A little bit of crushed red pepper, huh? Black pepper. Make sure you get good, fresh, ground black pepper. Don't use the cheap stuff in the store. You're not going shilling. You got your salt. Little bit of salt, right? A lot of salt in that Romano cheese, okay? So you don't want to do too much salt, but you gotta do a little. Italian seasoning, all right? You got your basil, you got your marjoram, you got all that good stuff in there. It's all mixed together, don't worry about it. Not too much. Then you're gonna need a couple of eggs to bind the sauce together, all right? You want to bind your meat together, so you need a couple eggs. Now you're going to get your hands dirty. You can't use something like a mixing bowl or whatever. This is your mixing bowl right here. Use your hands. Get them in there. You got to start mixing it around. Get both of them in there. Don't be afraid. This is what you got to do. Stir it around, mix it up with your hands. Get all those ingredients nice and mixed together. Get in there, put it like a football. Be like Johnny Unitas, huh? Look at that. Unbelievable. Now you gotta make your balls. Some people like to use a spoon. Just use your hands. Don't worry about it, all right? You want to make a pretty good size, but not too big, all right? Probably like the size of a ping pong ball or something like that, a little bit bigger. Now you got to take your balls and move them to the side. Start your sauce. Sauce. We need a big pan for the sauce. Need a little onion, right? You chop the onion. First you gotta do a good job of chopping the onions. You don't do it the wrong way, okay? Chop an onion. Right? Get the seeds off it. The sides. Peel it off like that, right? Get that. Got a little extra there. Got a trick. A little bit of this. Make sure you get all that skin off there. You don't want that on your meatballs. You chop your onions. Say you chop your onions. You do it like this, huh? Chop here, here, here. This way you get a good dice, okay? You want to get a good dice on them. You don't want them too thick. Get a good dice. Make a bunch of squares on the top. Make sure you don't cut your fingers. Like that. Cut a little ridge on the bottom. So you got a base to put it down. Look at that. Boom. Cutting onions. Last part, you gotta do like this. There's no crying, okay? So don't cry. Here you go, olive oil. Get a nice little dose of olive oil down there in the pan. Turn it on, you wanna get a little high heat going. Get that, you get some high heat. Get that olive oil going. Put your onions, okay? Some people do garlic. I'm not a garlic guy. Get your onions in there. You gotta salt your onions. Season every single stop, right? Salt. Salt's gonna suck the moisture out of the onion, all right? It's gonna make it get a little translucent. That's a good thing. You want these things to be cooked down. You don't want them like this because then they'll be too bitter. You want them to be a little sweet, all right? Put a little of this, season every step. Look at this. Just like that, just like you would season it every step, all right? A little bit. Take a wooden spoon. Cook it down. 2 to 3 minutes, all right? 2 to 3 minutes, depending on how hot you can get your oil. Make sure these things are real translucent, almost see-through, like glass, all right? All right, while you're letting those cook down, you gotta open up your tomatoes. Crushed tomatoes, huh? You don't want the ones with the extra sauce on it, with the basil and all that. You gotta do that yourself, all right? So this isn't Chef Boyardee. We're not throwing stuff in there. There's no ragu. This is straight from the counter here. You're making it yourself. Don't worry about it. Don't be afraid. All right, now your onions are cooked down. You see it's getting a little brown in the pan? That's good. It's a little caramelization. It should have gone up a little bit. Taking some out. You gotta put your sauce in. Crushed tomatoes. Boom. Do 3 trays of the crushed tomatoes. Three cans of crushed tomatoes. Can of tomato sauce. Don't forget to season. Next step, you gotta season again, just like you did with the onions. Don't tell anybody. Put a little bit of this in there. That's a secret. Stir it up. Get it all mixed in there. See it? Now it's starting to bubble a little bit. Starts to bubble. You grab your balls, all right? Put them in there gently, all right? You gotta be gently with these. Put them in there. Don't get them all in there. Now you gotta stir in your balls. Remember, you gotta be gentle. Otherwise you'll bust your balls. You don't wanna bust your balls. Just like that. Get them all nice and covered. Boom, they're ready to go. Let this come up to a boil. Start popping again, bubbling for you. You get on the sides. Getting it going. Now we take the lid. Take the lid. We put it on top of our balls. Don't cap it, but just put it on there. Leave a little bit of air on the side. You gotta remember, every half hour or so, you gotta stir it up. And remember, be careful, because you don't want your balls to stick to the bottom of the pan, all right? Maybe an hour and a half, hour or two. Get your balls in there, and they come out perfect, all right? All right, you're about an hour and a half in. You gotta taste, see if your meatballs are done, all right? A little bit of bread. Sauce off. Look at that. So, ball. Put that on your bread. little bit of Parmesan. If you ever seen the movie Fatso, Dom DeLuise and Bancroft, 1980, beautiful film. This is how you do it right here, you sneak it in. Amazing. All right, we're boiling here. Spaghetti. Get your olive oil in there and your salt. Olive oil's good because it won't help you cut the steak. Don't cut your pasta in half. Leave it whole. Be a good Italian. Work it in there slowly. Gotta make sure you stir. Just a few minutes. Let's stir a little bit. All right. So about 3 Sinatra songs and a half of Frankie Valli. We're ready to go. It's gonna be about 11, 12 minutes. Okay. Do that. Pasta's gonna be perfect. You want a little bit al dente. You don't want it too much. See that starch in there? It's perfect. That's how you want it. Don't get rid of all of that. Get it going like that. Boom. Look at it. Now you're gonna take your sauce, huh? Sauce. Make sure you get a spoon. You're gonna get the sauce in here. Mix it up. If you're sticking together, get your sauce in there. Hey, there you go. Yeah. Fantastic, huh? Unbelievable. Get a couple of balls in there. Oh, look at that. So hey, maybe we go 3. Good. A little more. Hey. A little bit of fresh grated parm. Romano. Look at that. Unbelievable, huh?
It's Latinx Heritage Month, and we are celebrating many activists, musicians, and artists, such as Wilfredo Lam. Wilfredo Lam was an Afro-Cuban artist best known for his unique surrealist aesthetic that combined European artistic movements with the imagery of his native country. He was born on December 8th in 1902 in Sagua La Grande, Cuba, and passed away on September 11th, 1982 in Paris, France. He was inspired by and in contact with some of the most renowned artists of the 20th century, including Pablo Picasso, Henri Matisse, Frida Kahlo, and Diego Rivera. In 1923, Lam began studying in Madrid under Fernando Alvarez de Sotomayor y Zaragoza, the curator of the Museo del Prado and teacher of Salvador Dalí. In the mornings, Lam would attend his conservative teacher's studio, while he spent his evenings working alongside young nonconformist painters. His distinctive visual style also influenced many artists, and his paintings are still being sold today for a record of $9.6 million in 2017. He held the belief that society focused too much on the individual and sought to show humanity as a whole in his artwork. He painted generic figures, and he often painted mask-like faces. While Cuban culture and mythology permeated his work, it dealt with the nature of man and therefore was wholly relatable to non-Cubans as well.